Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to a special Saturday edition of Rocket Live. I hope everybody's doing really well out there. Thank you all so much for watching, and welcome everybody who's watching this live. And I want to say a special welcome to everybody who will be watching the replay, and eventually we'll be listening to the audio version of this interview. I am here today joined by a very special guest, someone I'm really excited to talk to, and who actually met on Clubhouse. The power of networking, the power of meeting people in new places, Clubhouse. So I'm really happy to welcome Arielle Vandette to the show. Arielle, how are you? Thanks for hopping on.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on your show.
Yeah, it's great. And, I'm going to dive right into it because you and I have been, right before we got on live, we've probably been going back and forth for like the last hour. And so you have an amazing story, which I definitely want to get into. But our love for our furry companions is definitely running strong. And you've got three, right? Three dogs?
I do. I have 3 rescues. One's a service dog for me, for my PTSD, and he's 8 years old. And my dogs are looking extremely cute right now, guys. So, yeah, I adopted one. We can go into the story a little bit when we talk about more things. But so I have Smoke, who's a cattle collie dog, mix. I have Halligan, who's a blue heeler, Australian Shepherd mix. And then I have Taser, who's a mutt of like 17 different breeds. So nice. He's the one that's my service dog. And I am recently starting to train them in agility.
I know. I saw the little video you sent me, which was awesome. Yeah, we're talking very much about the love for our buddies. And I was talking about how much I love my boy Milo, and we're sending each other pictures and just going back and forth. So I love that because it is so true, right? I mean, you come in and like they're just there, like so unconditionally. Like I was saying how I was telling you, like my wife and I fight over Milo's affection all the time. Like he loves me more. No, he loves me more. No, he loves. So it's like we're always fighting over who does he love actually more. So we like to play that game, which I think he just finds. Oh, it's just so great because it's just more affection for him. So
yeah, it's so funny when I'm a paramedic full time, right. And when I go to my long shift, so I just got off a 36-hour shift. So yes, we do get to sleep on downtime, but I'm not gonna say that I slept last night because it was awful. Yeah. And whenever I come home, they know my car coming down, my truck coming down the street. I can hear them screaming at the tops of their lungs, all 3 of them, because Mama's coming home. And it's so funny to see and hear them. And like, I just get mauled like, I don't know, like a rhinoceros like ran over me when I walk in the door. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It's so funny, like how like they pick up on things. Like my little guy, like Milo, he comes up. He like uses the top of the sofas as like a perch, and you saw him. So he's a for everybody who's listening to this, and I don't have pictures of him, but you can go follow Milo Vaglio on Instagram. But he's a cream Boston Terrier, so he's about 20 pounds, and he just uses the top of the couches for perches when he jumps up. And there's a one couch that's up against the window. So as soon as he hears like any kind of movement, like car or anything, boom, he bolts up there and his like little head is peeking through the window, and you just see like the little ears in his eyes as he's like, and you open a door and he's just like so happy, jumping up around. It's so great. It's like, this is amazing.
My dog Smoke, that's 30 pounds. He actually perches on the couch cushions himself, which is so funny that they both do that.
That's hilarious. That is so hilarious. I just love how they do that and how they develop these personalities and especially when you have 2, the things they pick up from each other socially and like the different habits they pick up from each other. And they start to. It's amazing. It's amazing. My wife and I have decided, yes, we do eventually want to get a second dog for sure, and get Milo a friend, but we are waiting. We're waiting a little bit because just with time and schedules and all that, we want to make sure that someone's able to really take care of two dogs all the time. So we'll get there. We'll get there. But you having three dogs, that's pretty cool.
I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, honestly.
Yeah. So let's get a little bit into it now, because I want people to, and we could probably just sit here and talk for 30 to 40 minutes about dogs. Yeah, 4 hours about dogs and how much we love dogs, and and urging people to donate to their local shelters. But I do want to talk about your background, and why we have you on today. So you mentioned it a little bit. So you by trade right now are a paramedic, and you've been doing it for a while, right?
Yeah, 11 years, and I was a firefighter for 8 years. So I was a firefighter paramedic for around 8 years. Mm-hmm. And then things went down with an ex-boyfriend, and it's a long story. Right. But I am working strictly as a full-time paramedic. I didn't even tell you guys where I'm from. I'm from Massachusetts. So I service right around the Boston area. And so COVID's huge in all the hospitals in Boston, as we all know.
Yep.
But that is what I do full time. And love dogs.
And yes, and we love dogs. And so you have also, being a paramedic and being a dog mom and taking care of three dogs, you're also a trainer, right? Is that correct? Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the dog training and the different things you're involved in there, because there's also you're involved in poetry. You've got a show on Spotify. So let's talk about the dog side of things.
Yeah, so I'll take you back to when I was 7 years old. When I was 7 years old, I started riding horses. Right. So at 14, a sponsor came up to me and offered me a sponsorship to go professional. So I was like, yeah, Mom, like I was only 14. I had no idea what money is at that point in time. Like, great. They're throwing money at me left and right. Before I knew it, I had 8 sponsors going professional. I turned out to be 19th in the country of the United States of America in the eventing, what we call like the AEC championships, which is the American Eventing Championships in the U.S. So I ended up being 19th, which is like out of 2,000 that qualified. Like that's insane. It was insane. That's insane. I had to miss my first week of senior year because I went down to Kentucky. It was about like $10,000 worth of money that I didn't have to spend because I had sponsors. So, but when I got older and got into relationships and boyfriends and things like that, and actually had to start paying for my horses, because I had my own horses on top of my sponsorship and training other horses and stuff like that, I had to like kind of let go. I had to donate my horse Aiden to an all-girls boarding facility because box in his back, he was an off the track thoroughbred, and he was 20 at the time, so it was just time, like he had his time to go do some trotting and have at it. So then I went a good chunk of my life that was 16, around 16 to 20 was when I was still riding, but I didn't have a horse, and it was really weird to me because I've always had a horse that was mine. But when I moved out of the house and bought my first condo at 22, I did not have a horse or any animals at that point in time. And so I looked into adoption. I was on the fire department at that time. And I really thought, well, if I'm that good at, I guess I'm patting myself on the back. If I'm that good at training horses, why can't I train dogs?
Right.
Seems like a logical answer. So I started doing small things, and actually, 4 years past, I adopted my second dog, and who is Taser, my service dog. And we actually, instead of spending $25,000 for him to go to school with me, I actually trained him with a trainer for less money and basically trained him myself.
Right.
So, and then I just started working with, and then I got Halligan 3 years, almost 3 years ago. And that's the third dog. And we're working on her with different things and getting her ready to just be not necessarily a service dog, but just getting her a good canine citizen, which is like if anyone that doesn't know, it's certification to let them to be in public and not be frightened of X, Y, and Z. So so now I'm focusing. Today is day one of agility training. So I'm kind of dabbling in agility, and I was sending Chris videos of my dog Taser doing the jump, and it was actually very fun. I was like loving every second of it. And then he went in the tunnel. I was like pulling the tunnel apart, and he actually like jumped in the tunnel. He thought it was like
in there.
He jumped right in there without a treat or anything. I'm like, what? And then he went all the way through by himself, and now he's just chilling over there by the window in the sun. Like he's living the best life.
He's living his life. He's living his life. So you mentioned something a little bit earlier too about you suffering from PTSD, and I want to talk a little bit about that because this is a big part of your story, and then from what you sent me and what you wrote me your bio and everything, like it's a part of your journey, and how it connects to the dogs and the dogs being such a big part of your life. So if you wouldn't mind, would you mind sharing a little bit about that story?
Yeah. So I'll get vulnerable with you guys. So if you have triggers, this is a trigger warning, just letting you guys know. But when how old was I? I was just in my condo one night and being on the fire department. Take you back to 2009. My best friend died in a motor vehicle accident. He got ejected. His brain matter went all over my clothes. I was the first one on scene. So I didn't know that it bothered me. So like 10 years later, actually, I'll take you back even further to when I was 8 to 12. I was raped and molested by my grandfather. So all this leads up to when I was about 22, 23. I started acting out weird, and people started noticing that something wasn't okay with me. And so I never went to like figure it out. I thought I was just like, I don't know, being a girl and being like moody and just having like bad days every day. I knew I had depression and anxiety at that point in time, but I didn't know there was something like legit wrong.
Right.
Not saying that it's wrong, but that I had a diagnosis that I didn't know about. So I attempted suicide right before Christmas of 2014. And that was right before I was getting I had the adoption paperwork done for Smoke, my first dog. And this is like the biggest like part of my huge long story. We have a place in Massachusetts that I actually called, and it's called Onsite Academy. And you don't have to tell your employer about it. It's free for first responders and military. You just literally call them and they pick up the phone and they take you in for an intake for like, they question you about literally your entire life story. And then they will accept you into the program if they deem it's a trauma related. They focus on trauma and PTSD. So a day after the suicide attempt, I got the best phone call of my entire life. I got word that Smoke was adopted, but it fell through, and that I was the next one on the list. And that day I went down to the foster. I drove an hour down to a different town to where he was fostered, because it's a foster-based company or organization that I rescued them through. And I remember walking into that house, and she only had him like a half a day. They just brought him up after quarantine. And his name was Smoke. I didn't rename him. I kept it because I was a firefighter and I thought it was very fitting.
Right. And yeah. I think so.
Yeah. And he has this little like smoke stream that goes like up his face. It's very cute. But yeah, so that day I went to meet him and I go, "Hey buddy, you want to go home?" And like he was on hardwood floor. So if you can imagine like a dog just like scraping as fast as he can without actually moving.
Yeah, and they're not going anywhere.
How excited he was. And he literally jumped on my chest. And I was like, "Oh my God." And like I started like bawling my eyes out. And then I get home and then I was with my mom at the time. And then I got home and then all of a sudden everything just like came crashing down on me. Like I was like, "Oh my God, I have to take care of this dog. How am I going to do it? What am I going to do?" Like everything, I'm all by myself, didn't have a boyfriend, all that. And I was like freaking out. But at the same time, I was so overjoyed that I just like started bawling my eyes out. I'm like, "You just saved my life." And then in the reality, like he looked me dead in the eyes, put his paws on my knees on the couch, licked my tears away from my face. And you could just tell he literally said back, "You saved mine though."
Right. Yeah. I think it's so powerful. It's very powerful. And it's so true. Like, those like, the animals we care for, like it goes so much deeper, than just having a quote unquote pet. It's really a companion. It's a friend. And even though they can't verbally say it, you can see it like in their eyes and their actions. And like you said, like all the excitement and all that kind of instantaneous, like, oftentimes too, it's like the dogs pick us, as companions as much as we pick them, you know? And I think that's like you said, like when you saw him and he saw you, it was sort of like love at first sight, basically, and
literally
I think that's it's really special. But in regards to like your trauma and then having this companion of unconditional love, who's not judging you, just wants to be by your side, is really, I'm sure, very, very therapeutic.
Absolutely. I got him his good canine citizenship, and he became an ESA dog. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's an emotional support animal. So they're very limited. They can go into some stores and some locations. But so yeah, I didn't want to push him to be a service animal because he's my little sensitive dude. Like he wouldn't be able to pass the test. He is a very, very sensitive guy. Like I call him my little kitty cat sometimes because he acts like he's the one that perches on the couch. And he actually, I was freaking out because when I got accepted into the program for my PTSD camp, I was like, I don't know what to do. I just adopted a dog like 2 weeks ago, and they're like, "Oh, he can come with you." And I'm like, "Oh." So we literally did doggy yoga together. We did acupuncture together. We did massage therapy together, along with group sessions and one-on-one sessions. And the place saved my life. And for him to be amazing. A part of it, it was like incredible.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's so great when you can do all those things together, with your companion, basically. I think that's really, really, really cool. So let's talk a little bit now, because I want to make sure that we have time to also talk about some of the other things and how this has sort of progressed. So it's from now being a dog mama, and then now being involved in some of the other things you do. So let's talk about paw treat. So you're involved with paw treat. So why don't you talk a little bit about what paw treat is and your involvement in it?
So when I got Smoke, I found a company online that sold all holistic, natural, and organic products. And Smoke, literally, when I say he would not eat one treat off the shelf of any store I went to, is true.
Right.
He wouldn't. So I found this company, and we have freeze-dried treats that are only 6 calories. They're great for training and all that. And they're actually human grade. And
that's interesting. Okay.
yeah, so if I get hungry later, I'll just
you can have a Scooby snack.
Yeah. So they're freeze dried. You can crumble them up if your dog, like some dogs I have that don't have teeth or anything, or bad gums, whatever it may be. Right. You can crumble it up, put it on their food as a topper. So 5 years as a customer it took me in order to join. So then I joined as an independent pet pro in last year, February 28th. So I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary with the company.
All right.
Yeah, I ranked up 6 times in 4 months in the company. So I am vice president. I'm very excited of where I am. So what we offer is a solution for your dogs and cats to a holistic, natural, and organic option through food, supplements, treats, toys, seasonings, and more. So we have my link down below. And then obviously you message me or however you want to get in contact if you're interested. So it's a little bit about
absolutely. Yeah, which I think is great, because I was on the site before, and I was looking through a lot of the products and things they have, and I love that it's the very natural side of things, because a lot of a lot of the food out there, I mean, and it's gotten a lot better. I mean, the options have gotten a lot better than they used to be, and
right.
And it's true. I mean, listen, the way we take care of our bodies and deciding what we want to eat and put in, like, it goes true for our animal friends as well. And they don't have to eat bottom of the barrel food just because they're a dog or cat or whatever animal they are. Like, they should also eat really high grade quality food as well, because it just helps them in their living, helps them to prolong their life and stay as healthy as possible.
Yeah, so we are in the U.S. only currently. So if you are not in the U.S. and you're listening and you're interested, we'll probably be expanding. There's kind of rumors that we're going to Canada next, but there's regulations and stuff that has to be in place, and we're trying to capitalize in the U.S. But first time orders, just letting everyone know, you get 20% off. If you do 3 items or more on Easy Ship, which it can be a monthly thing. It can be all the way up to a quarterly thing, and you accrue free product points. You get free shipping with that. And I also have free samples available if you are interested in that.
Excellent. Very good. Well, thank you. That's awesome. So yeah, definitely. The website's up. Go to that website so that way you can find out all about Pawtry, and then talk to Arielle directly about that. So I want to talk about the podcast, because you also do a podcast, which is great, because I love how it's like, I have everybody has a podcast, but it's wonderful because it's such a great way to really express yourself and put out content that's, that you're interested in. So let's talk about your podcast, which is called All Paws In.
Yeah. So I started a podcast when my dogs might be barking in a second, but it is what it is.
That's all right. It is what it is.
It's my life.
He just wants to get on. He wants to get in. He's like, "Yo, Mom, I want to be on the podcast."
I know. I have one that's chilling, and the other one that's egging the other one on. So it's like it's all a family tradition.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah. So when I joined Clubhouse, everyone was talking about, oh my God, you need a podcast. It's like the best thing. And I was in a bunch of podcasting rooms, and that's where I met Chris. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to do it. So I did it. I set up an account through Anchor, and I just put a photo up there. I just started rambling like a crazy person. I don't know. Because I tend to ramble. I don't know if it's because I'm a female or I just like to ramble. But I had someone listen to it. I don't know if it was you or someone else, but
yeah, it wasn't me.
I asked someone to listen to it and critique it and see like how terrible it was. And he was like, no, it wasn't that bad at all. And then I did another one, which is, so All Pleasant is about pottery in general, and then dog knowledge, cat knowledge. I only have 2 episodes up right now because I just started it like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something like that. And I'm trying to just slowly get used to having, because I have so many social media platforms, and I'm really trying to get my Instagram up and going like crazy. And podcasting is awkward for me right now due to the fact that I'm used to interacting on live videos on Facebook with my, my friends or whoever's on. So podcasting to me is like talking to a wall. So I'm trying to get over that hurdle. And then I'm like, yeah. And then, so there's this thing. So I'm getting used to it. So I did do, my recent episode is called The Pet Reset. And what that is, and I'll just go over this real briefly, is a campaign that Pottery went out and is doing. And you feed nothing but pottery. Food, treats, everything, no table scraps, nothing. So instead of getting yourself healthier in 2021, I'm not saying don't get healthy in 2021, but you feed your dogs and cats what they are going to eat. So why not have a nutritious, holistic, natural, healthy animal, and you put your testimonial up after 30 days, and the CEO on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, those are the 3 platforms, and it's #PotteryPetReset. And then after 30 days, you do the hashtag with your testimonial of how it's changed your dog or cat's life. And then you get entered to win $100 cash drawing. And it's every 15th of the month. Oh, wow. So it's like amazing. So I did my recent podcast is all about the Pet Reset. Nice. And getting your animals healthy in 2021.
That's awesome. Are you going to be also, as you go along with this, will you be having guests on?
Yeah, once I get the hang of it and do enough like interviews where I'm comfortable talking, which I usually am. I just don't know how I will be trying to ask questions. I'm a listener, and I like structure. So for me to do it the other way around, I don't know how I feel about it right now, but I do want to do it. It's just a matter of, I would have to take notes and be like, this is this, this is this. Right, I'm going to ask this question.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things too. It just, you get better the more you do it. I started doing this probably, it's almost been a year since I started doing this. And it was, I used to only do them as 10-minute interviews and then post them directly to LinkedIn. And then once I started doing more live streams and then got approved for LinkedIn Live, that's when I started being able to do a longer show, and it moved in from just sort of being like these short video interviews to like these longer ones. And then eventually creating then the audio version of these. So basically I do the live stream as you're on now, and it gets broadcast out. And then I take that and then I turn it into an audio podcast, which gets released out through all the platforms and all that jazz. But yeah, it's been almost a year since I've been doing this now, which is crazy to think about, because I basically started at the top of I guess once lockdown started, and I was trying to figure out ways that I could help people in my network. And I was like, well, why don't I just interview them and then I could put it up and I could expose them to other people in my network, and maybe they'll connect, maybe they'll do business together, whatever, anything I could do to sort of, help people kind of keep getting the word out about who they are and what they do. And that's how it started. And that still is the mission today. Really hasn't changed much. I always say, I like to feature people I think that are, I feel like that they're rock stars and they're inspiring and they're motivational and how they're helping other people. That's really it. That's the context.
Do you have a specific niche that you like, or is it just kind of who you connect with?
Yeah, nope. It's really more or less people I connect with. People, like, for me, as long as I say that they're, they are helping others is sort of the this twist that I like to have. Is not really a twist, but I want people to come on, share their stories, so that way people who hear it get inspired and motivated, but also understand too how they're helping other people do what they do. So it's not really coming on here and just kind of plugging your business. It's like, yes, I want to hear your story of how you did it, but then I also want to hear now how you're helping others doing what you do. And everybody who comes on here has got different ways that they're doing that, which is, it's been fascinating to hear those stories.
And then,
and, you know, and you as well. I mean, you have a fascinating story, and you've turned, you know, a very traumatic thing in your life into something that's positive to not, you know, only help yourself, but then also now help other people.
So I actually have a fundraiser. I didn't mention this to you in the thing, but every year I do a 5K run, or depending on how long I feel like running, for charity for suicide prevention and domestic violence awareness. So I have a tattoo on my arm. Hold on.
Oh, yep, I see it.
It has the purple for domestic violence and the greenish color, teal, for suicide awareness. So everyone asks me why I have two colors, and that's because I'm a warrior and a survivor of both.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome. I mean, that's something that you should absolutely, you know, celebrate in that fact of, you know, being a survivor and a warrior, because they are truly amazing. And I would say too, I think for anybody who's listening to this, watching this live or watching on the replay, you know, I'd love for you to be able to share maybe some thoughts around that. Just, you know, if people are kind of feeling like this, I guess a little bit of you know, in a box, like they hopelessness in a way, but you know, you are somebody who was able to come out the other side. So what would you say to people out there right now that are struggling with you know, different things like PTSD, or, you know, other thoughts that they just, you know, are feeling a little desperate?
So there is a helpline. I wish I knew the number on the top of my head, but there is a suicide prevention line there. If you Google it, I'm sure it's the first thing that pops right up. There are resources out there. So whatever you do not think you are alone, because that's the first thing that I did. And if I could help just one person stay alive today, thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay alive today, I'm doing my job, and that's why I'm put on this earth, is to help people, and obviously sidetrack, to help pets, because I'm helping the parents as well. So if you are struggling, please reach out to a family member, a close friend. Don't be ashamed. You're not alone. Call the number. It's a very extremely difficult thing to do, to pick up the phone and call that number. I've been there. The phone felt like 1,000 pounds, but it was the best feeling after I made the phone call, that I don't have words to describe that feeling, and I never will. But there is help.
Yeah, I think that's super important to really stress, is that, you know, there is 100% a way out. And, you know, definitely calling this line and getting involved, or calling anybody that you know, just to get help, talk to somebody. Do not wait for it, because like you said, it's not easy, but you did it and you came out the other side, and then you've been able now, you know, to turn this into your passion of, you know, dogs, you know, training dogs, being with animals, obviously surrounding yourself with you know, trusted companions who, you know, make you happy every day.
That's right.
Even though they may drive us a little crazy, man, but they definitely make us happy.
That's so true. So yeah, my podcast is All Pause In. You can find it on Spotify. I use the app Anchor, so if you happen to have that, because you listen to other podcasts, it's on Anchor as well, and I'm pretty sure it's in the Apple Podcast.
Yes.
Thingy, what's it?
Yeah, the Apple Podcast Store. Yeah, so pretty much wherever you can listen to podcasts, for the most part, you can get it.
Yeah, and the picture will be like bright orange, and it's all about the pet reset, but you wouldn't know it because it has words. It's like half a dog with words shaped as a dog too. So
okay,
that is what to look for if you want to listen to the podcast.
nice. And once again, if people want to visit you and talk about Pawtree, it's up here on the screen, pawtree.com / Ninja Medic. Ninja Medic. You're the
That's
Ninja
right.
Medic. Yeah. And then where else can other people connect with you? I know you were talking like you're big on Instagram and Facebook. So where can other people connect with you if they want to chat or find out what's going on in Arielle's life?
My crazy life of dogs and all things dog mom. You can find me on Facebook. It's exactly spelled how it is on StreamYard right here. I am like maxed out at friends, but if you send me a message, I'll delete someone and add you. So don't worry. And then
someone's getting a cut.
Someone's cut like I haven't done like a friend cut in a while. So
the friend purge. Friend purge.
And then my Instagram account is Pawtree by Arielle, one word, and it's you can tell the photos are of me and my dogs and dog videos and dog things and Pawtree products. Some of them product posts has my link there, and so I guess the best place to find me would be Instagram to start, because then you can DM me and then I can enter you into my VIP group on Facebook by just sending you one link, and then we can chit chat about that. Anything.
Awesome. And also Clubhouse, because that's where we met. We met on Clubhouse.
That is true. I had 3 invites and I give them to a couple of my friends that are local, and they're like, "What is this?" I'm like,
this Clubhouse thing.
And I'm like, just get on it.
It's the exclusive. It's very exclusive, or at least until April, whenever they decide to open it up to Android. So, but yeah, so that people can find you at your name, right? Your Clubhouse handles is pretty much your name, or is it something else?
So my Clubhouse handle is the same as my website link. It's Ninja Medic.
I love that, Ninja Medic.
I know.
That's awesome.
I got the ninja part from CrossFit, so they always said the badass ninja. So
yeah, you know what? Go with it, man. Go with it. It's awesome.
So that's like my thing on everything that I do is like, and people will send me on my birthday. They'll send me like Ninja Turtle postcards or their birthday cards.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's I have like a whole stack of them. I keep them. But
I love that.
Anyway.
No, it's very cool. So, all right. Well, I really want to thank you so much, Arielle, for coming on today and spending time with us and sharing your story, your journey, your passion for dogs. Like I said, we could sit here for probably another 4 hours and just talk about our dogs and how much we love them and all the crazy things they do. So, but
yeah, for sure.
But that's, we'll do that. We'll table that for another day. Maybe we'll do like a whole, we'll get a bunch of people together. And we'll just do a live stream about dogs and try to raise money for shelters or something like that. Or suicide prevention would actually be a great thing to do too. So, we'll have to talk about that. We'll talk about that another time. Yeah. So yes, I want to thank everybody so much for watching live with us here today. And I also want to thank everybody who will watch the replay of this and will eventually listen to the audio version of this. Thank you, everybody, for all your support. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to wherever you're watching this right now, especially on YouTube. And wherever you're going to listen to the audio version of this, please subscribe as well. So that way you get notified every single time a new video is dropped or a new episode of the audio podcast is dropped. And I do encourage people to share because it not only just helps me in the show, but it also helps the people I have on as guests, and it helps them to amplify their story, their voice, and really, helps promote any of the causes that they're working on. So I encourage everybody to please share these episodes as they come out. And Arielle, thank you once again for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me, and thank you all the listeners. And I hope to connect with all of you soon.
Awesome. And remember, everybody, Always be authentic, be yourself, and always remember to rock it. Yeah.